Was there ever a group that came to you or the government, past and present, or your time, I mean, that, hey, we're experts in rail development. Let us bring it. Let us build it. Because Korea is now offering, there's a Korean firm offering to help us with the smaller nuclear power plants. What about in the railways?
Railways, no negotiation yet on railways with Korea. But I think Japan can handle that because they are doing the subway now, the subway system in Metro Manila, and as I've said, Japan is they have no quid pro quo mindset, okay? Because actually, I think my own guess is that they are contrite about what they did to us. What they did to this is just my own thinking.
Yeah.
They're being contrite to us because of what they did to us, during the war. And so, Sito, people are saying that we should review and revisit our railways project with China because under the new administration of Marcos Jr. But my if I had my say, I would say let's drop that whole thing and let's just go to other friendly countries.
Do you agree that land reform in the Philippines is a failed aspiration and should just be abandoned?
I would say that it is more a failure than a success, much more a failure than a success, and also it took so long. Our agrarian reform program took so long. In the case of Taiwan, for example, they had agrarian reform, but they finished it quickly, so that in the longer the program goes, the more difficult it becomes successful because there's too many interferences from from different sectors. So that is one reason. The other thing is, as I've said, we failed in our population program. So families in the farm areas are having many more children than they can provide for. So they have to, a farmer, for example, if you have so many children, you subdivide your land possession into so many smaller pieces of parcels of land, and that is another reason.
What about PPP? Because when it started, it was a good idea, except that people told the president back then that PPP could be done in a year. Turns out that it takes at least 3 years of groundwork for a PP project to actually take off. And now we don't hear much about public-private partnerships. What's your view on that?
No, that was not favored by the previous government, by the Duterte government, and the Department of Finance and NEDA. I was in NEDA then. We were at odds in terms of PPP because I was favoring PPPs, public-private partnerships, whereas Department of Finance did not like it. Anyway, now because of our fiscal constraint, we are really we have a high indebtedness. You know that we are indebted to the extent of 63% of our GDP is our indebtedness.
Yes,
and that is quite high because the red flag is at 60%. We have already breached the red flag of 60%. So because of this, we are fiscally constrained. We have a we have a much smaller fiscal space, as we call it, small fiscal space, and that is why we need to really go into PPP PPP projects,
Mhm.
public-private partnerships, because
So,
there are so many private sector proponents or businessmen who would like to get involved in projects, but they also want to be sure that it's it's profitable enough for them.
Mhm.
It's not the government regulating them, or restricting them in many
Yeah.
areas.